my channel. I'm Georgia McGilly from Georgia-Beth Photography, and today I'm going to be talking to you guys about the very hot topic of micro weddings. So we're going to be talking a little bit about how you can switch from your original big wedding day plans and convert that into a micro wedding, and then also a lot of these steps apply really well to if you are planning a micro wedding from the start. Before we go ahead, make sure that you subscribe and hit like and hit the notifications bell so that you don't miss out on my weekly wedding planning tips and inspiration, and then also pop in the comments below if there's anything else that you want me to cover on this series in the coming weeks. So many couples have had to postpone their weddings this year or even cancel. That has been really, really hard. But I have actually really loved being a part of some beautiful micro weddings. There are so many benefits to having that. It's really intimate. It removes any kind of worry about who you invite. You just invite your closest family or your closest friends, and you are able to celebrate just your love as a couple, you getting married together, and just kind of celebrate that day without having to worry about all the kind of extra people and all the extra things that you need to do. So this is a really beautiful thing that you can do, and I highly recommend going ahead and booking your micro wedding. So I just wanted to give you some really simple steps of how you can convert your original big day plans and put them into something much simpler and smaller that's still going to be really beautiful, magical day for you. So the first thing that you need to think about is where you want to get married. Think about your original wedding venue if you've already had a big day booked, and then how you want to scale down. I definitely make sure that you contact the venue, speak to them, see if they can postpone maybe a big party later on. A lot of couples have chosen to go ahead, get married, have that celebration on their original date and have a micro wedding, and then maybe next year on their first anniversary, for example, they will have a big party with that kind of extended family and friends that were originally going to be invited to the wedding. So you need to check with your venue whether it's possible for them to postpone for a date maybe next year, that you want to have a bigger party like your original plans were going to be. And then you also want to find out if you still have got your heart set on getting married at that venue, whether they've got maybe a smaller room that can cater for that 15 guest or that 30 guest sort of group, depending on what the restrictions are when it comes to your wedding day. You want to think a little bit about the vibe. If your original room that you were going to get married in is a huge ballroom, it's going to feel massive when you've got only 15 people in there. So have a little bit, think about where exactly is an appropriate place. And this is actually a really exciting opportunity to maybe get married somewhere else that you would have never been able to with that 150 guests, say. So you could go and do those kind of magical elopement type things where you go and get married somewhere really beautiful by a waterfall or something like that. But you could also go ahead and hire an Airbnb and do it in their back garden. Okay, step 2, thinking about all your other suppliers and vendors. If you were having some big party, you can still use all those different suppliers and vendors. You just need to, again, have an open and honest conversation with them. So if you were meant to be having 10 tables with floral arrangements on all of them, obviously you're not going to have those 10 tables anymore, so you need to discuss with your florist how you want to do it differently. And if you are still planning on spending what you were originally spending, think about how you can be flexible with that and just make your day even more beautiful. You can kind of have a few table pieces, but then you could have a huge flower arch that you weren't originally planning on having with that extra that you were going to put on the other tables, or you can just pare down. And it's the same for every single vendor. A photographer such as myself, if you are having a micro wedding and you are just having a short ceremony, some portraits afterwards, and then a quick meal in a restaurant or something, you're not going to need me for that 8, 10, 12-hour day that you would have originally needed me for. So just have those honest conversations with each of your vendors, how you can maybe pare down but still have all those really beautiful elements to your day. Step 3, now this is the thing that a lot of people are asking questions about at the minute, and it is, how do you uninvite guests? And yes, this is very strange times, and a lot of people are going to understand because they know that it's not your fault. You're not just choosing to uninvite them because you don't like them anymore. It is the situation that we're in at the minute. But there are definitely ways that you can put it across really nicely so that they still feel loved and wanted at your day. So I would word it saying that we are choosing to go ahead with our wedding date. We're just going to celebrate with our close family or our immediate family, but we're really looking forward to hopefully celebrating with you at a later date. We'll keep you posted. And then for your guests that you are still inviting, they are still coming to your wedding, you want to just make it really clear what the restrictions are, what they are coming to, because if they were originally coming to a really big day with a huge band and long into the night, it is going to be quite different. So you need to explain to them, obviously, if there's any time changes, but also if during the ceremony they need to wear masks, whether they're going to have to stay seated for the meal, all those sort of little restrictions that are going on at the minute. If those are in place, then you need to obviously just make it really clear to those guests what to expect when they come, so that there's no confusion or stress on the day, but they are just ready and prepared to enjoy that day with you and celebrate with you. The other advantage to having that smaller wedding is that you can be really flexible with the time. And when it comes to photography and getting your photos, which obviously these are the memories that you're going to be able to look back on from your wedding day and also share with all those people who weren't originally able to attend, then you can be really flexible with when you take the photos. And a lot of people will have heard of this term, but we as photographers love golden hour, and that's just the kind of hour before sunset when we can get those really stunning shots with that golden light and maybe some really beautiful shots of actually sunset happening. So if you're wanting to have some stunning photos of your wedding day, this is a chance to be really flexible with the times. You can kind of book your ceremony so that it's just before that time, so that you have portraits just at that perfect golden hour light sort of time. And I've also got in contact with my friend Constance, who is a wedding planner from Mrs. T Weddings. She's also doing an initiative at the minute called Sweet 15, which is planning your entire wedding. That is a flexible wedding, maybe only 15 people for only £15,000. And so if you're interested in that, then go ahead to the link in the description. But she's just going to give us what her kind of top tip on what to do when you're planning your micro wedding. Here she is.
Hi, this is Constance from Mrs. T Weddings. My number one top tip if you are planning an intimate or a micro wedding is to make sure that you don't hold back. Just because you're keeping it smaller, whether it be through choice or because of social restrictions, you need to make sure it is a wonderful celebration of love and joy, and that you don't hold back and say, just because it's for a few people, we shouldn't bother. Make sure you do make that effort. It's still your wedding and you're only going to have one of these. It's so important that you still have those wonderful moments together and wonderful memories, whether it be cutting a cake, whether it be walking down an aisle, whatever it might be, whatever you can do to make sure that this still feels like a very, very special day, you need to make sure you embrace and have a lot of fun with.
Okay, so I hope you enjoyed that video. As always, I have my free wedding checklist and guide in the description below. So if you're interested in grabbing that, it gives you a step-by-step, month-by-month kind of advice on what to plan each month and how to prepare for your wedding. Don't forget to hit subscribe and like and the notifications bell, and pop in the comments below if there's anything you'd like me to cover in these wedding planning series over the next coming weeks. And I will see you guys really soon. I will always cheering you on.